Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! A Resolve. In the last episode, we managed to pull through a cross-examination and kind of prove that Rei-san is maybe not the murderer. But then Aochi-san, the prosecutor, came up with some new evidence with a photograph which is here to be seen, and he claims that this is the moment of the murder. And now we are supposed to give an answer to this question. The burning question took the photograph, so we can pull that person into the witness stand, is to be answered, and I have to say I have no clue how to answer this because I actually don't know. But I suppose if we go with I don't know, then we'll have a problem. So we have to go with I have the answer. But before doing that, do we actually have the answer? I mean, we do have this photograph here too. What else is there in the court record? I can't imagine that the fountain pen is going to help us. The poison article is not going to help us. This is weird. Tells all, this is the interview with you and Sasaki-san, is it father? It looks as though it was quite an exchange. Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment in hand a karate chopped me on the neck. I do hope you weren't hurt. I actually don't know how to go about this. I mean... wait a second. Quiet exchange. The photographer. The photographer. I mean, we don't have any other evidence? But was the photo... Whatever, I'm going to with I have the answer. I'm going with I have the answer. Even if we lose a life or whatever, it doesn't matter that much. This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mystery photographer?
Well, the crime scene photograph can't be it, because it's taken by the police. The fountain pen can't be the thing. The incriminating photograph is not the evidence that we need in this case, because it's about this. The poison article can't be it. It can only be the article about Soseki, and Mikotoba-san. So, I have no... I'm just gonna go with this. I'm just gonna go with this.
What is that? The newspaper again?
Oh, it was right. Okay.
Roche's England returnees tell all?
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. Oh, it is indeed the photograph, okay? If you look at this closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side. True. There are. Okay. Alright.
Ah, yes indeed. They had already caught my eye as it happens.
Ah, what of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably, from the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph,
Good gracious.
yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing. Ha, yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely. From the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Council.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matchmaking pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of... It must be a camera defect, right? Some tree branches, we put that out of the way already. The photographer's technique won't do anything about it. It's a defect. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera lens must be scratched, and that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Objection!
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Aochi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper? Ah!
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
Wah!
Mini memo!
Oh, okay. I see why you called her Roche's England returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's Mini Memo! I tell you, Mini Memo! Me! Mo!
Soseki-san, what was that? Did you say mini memo? Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following me, my every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Mini Memo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Raiten Mini Memo. Mini Memo. Okay.
Ah, now that he mentions it. He secretly spies, snapshots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy.
There he is. Okay.
Could that same reporter be? A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Raiten Mini Memo.
So you're saying that this picture was taken by...
Mini Memo, yes! My lord, your excellency, Esquire!
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, your excellency. As you say, your excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Mini memo.
Well, since we just started the episode, we're just gonna continue because we'll have a little talk at the antechamber, I suppose. So we're not gonna save the progress, we're just gonna continue playing. 13th August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber. 3.
I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Ray.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence? That you'd stand by me to the last? I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. I'm no better, you know. Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back, there was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Susato! I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh, no!
I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray? Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, Ray. I was so scared, you know. When it happened, I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time. That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It will be all right. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the plate by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case.
The chemical reagent has been entered in the court record. Chemical reagent, a special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory.
What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all the Englishwoman's doing. What? It was when the Professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swarmed in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikotaba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there."
It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison?
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This Minenemo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that the inviting reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party off to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Ah!
Yes, that must be what happened.
Consul, we've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once.
It's time to steel ourselves again. Once again then. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes! Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day.
'13th August, 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Adjudicature, Courtroom 1.
I hereby call this court to order as reconvened to continue the trial of Ray Mambami. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh,
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jezeel Brett's life.
excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw so it would be there in good time.
But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results?
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. The murder weapon has been entered in the court record. Murder weapon, a small knife from the scene of the crime that was found in the victim's bag. No trace of poison was found on the blade.
In short, the accused earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Oh!
Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Oh,
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
That's a very good question. Very good question.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Written many men who will show you news and what people like to call a journal.
What's a journal, Father? Do you know?
It's simply a contraction of a journalist. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourselves, people! Many Memo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then, let's start with your name.
It's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aoji. That's Taketsuchi Aoji. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
No, the readers won't buy that. What?
Witness.
Yes.
What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, you know, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my many memoism. Okay.
Many memoism?
Ah yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me, Many Memo again. Sorry, guys.
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News office after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest.
Miss Brett's words?
A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung. Its country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's ruling aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
Hey, stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Oh, those tongue breakers, guys. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here, right here. Here goes.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast.
A serious criminal going in some junket? The people need to know about this.
That's why I decided to sneak after them.
To get the woman's story, so I could hammer her in the press.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph.
Oh yes, I saw it with my own very journal eyes. From start to finish. Through the which viewfinder of my trusted camera.
Thank you, Many Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
Witness testimony. The camera never lies. Let's go to the court record though, because we do have new things to examine, and we're gonna start with the blade. Nothing appears obviously out of the ordinary here. Okay, if you say so. What about the blade?
Ah, yes, this must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
Yeah, if you say so. So nothing about the grip. Nothing about the grip. So that's everything, it seems. The grip is not something to talk about, worth talking about. Okay. Okay, what about the reagent?
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be a little help here.
It's not German. I do speak German, and this is... What does it? Afraid. Okay.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear.
Is it?
But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese, though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
Let me try to read, guys. It says... Reimt? This is an R, right? It says reagent, which means reagent. Okay, so German and English aren't that far from each other. They're very similar because they're from the same, from the same, how do you say, archetype, or from the same mother, which is Germanic. Alright, so nothing else to see here though. Alright, so we have seen this, but before determining whether the camera never lies or not, I'm going to end this episode here. If you want to know what this young reporter here has to say, you'll have to tune in next time for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. See you then.